Welcome back to Devils United. This is the combined starting 11. Hello everyone, welcome back to Devils United. With me today I have got Connor and I have got Nippon. How are we both?
Yes, all good, all good.
Good, and glad you're all well. So today we are going to be doing a combined starting 11 for like the big six teams. Have you got an idea at all of who you might want to put on?
There's a couple of positions where I'm a bit like, there's a few players that could go. There's some positions are nailed on, I think, are quite easy. I think when we talk about certain players, but there's a few where I'm like, it could go either way. So I'm interested to see who yourself and Nipper and who else want to put in, because I think it's going to be an interesting debate. Because I think, like I said, some are nailed on, but there's a few that you could debate about.
Yeah, completely agree. So everyone who is also in the live chat, come and say your opinions too on who you would like on your combined starting 11. So if you do prefer someone else over what we have decided in general, then put your comments in there. I've got a couple of comments, so I'll say hi to people who are in the comments and then we'll get rock and rolling. We've got Niall here today. Hello, Niall. Evening, amazing guest. Delighted for this show, the top six combined. Thank you for tuning in, Niall. It's a pleasure always seeing you in the live chat. Big up as well to Talk. I hope you're well. Got Fox's Focus there. Hello to you too. Thank you for tuning in. We've got Sacrifice here. Big up to the crew. Big up to you too. We have got Nathan here as well. Hello, Nathan. I hope you're well. And we have got Bath Time here too. Hey there, Bath Time. I hope you're well. And we've got Chris is nipping doing one of his travel shows.
I'm forever on my vlogs, Chris.
And Niall asked is Nippon walking. I presume yes he is. And hello to you too, Garrett. I hope you're well. So what we'll do, we will go with the create formation, and I did go with a 4-3-3 lineup because that's one of the most popular kind of lineups. So we'll start with the goalkeeping position. For me, I had no other option but to have Mendy on there, because for me at the moment, Mendy is one of the best goalkeepers in the league in my eyes. I just think he's one of them hidden gems what no one knew about, and then when he did come to the Premier League, he's just stood out completely. And he's obviously won Champions League goalkeeper of the year. Honestly, I can't think of anyone else I would rather put on. Who would you put on, Connor?
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones where I said I think it's nailed on for me. It's got to be Mendy. You could argue De Gea's had a good start to the season, but with the amount of goals we're shipping, you can't put a United keeper in there. Alisson, another good shout, has obviously done all right this season, does what he normally does, same with Henderson, but I think you can't look past Mendy. I tweeted the other day that if Chelsea win the league, they'll win it because of Mendy, not because of Lukaku, which is what everyone's assuming. He's that good of a goalkeeper. It's very rare you get a goalkeeper who's good at everything. He's brilliant shot stopper. He's great with his feet. His accuracy is very good. He's very good in the air, physical. He's just good at everything. So I don't think you can look past Mendy, to be honest. Like I said, there's a couple of other shouts, but yeah, it's got to be Mendy.
Mm-hmm. Would you agree, Nippon, with Mendy?
Looks like my decision has been made for me.
Did you want Mendy as well, Nippon?
I would have personally, surprisingly, put Henderson.
Why would you put Henderson? If you was, why would you have put Henderson there?
I don't know, but for some reason. But yeah, looks like my mind is made up for me. So I'm gonna go. So yeah, let's put Mendy in there.
Yeah, great. Got a couple more comments here as well. Chris, big with Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United in the mix. Okay, I understand completely. We're just absolutely terrible at the moment. I know. Fox's focus centre back pairing will be interesting. Personally, I'm not sure if Varane is available, but if he is, that is vital to Man United. It's clear as day. So with him and Maguire for me, if not Maguire and Bayer. From what I've been reading, Varane is available, ready for weekend. So hopefully he will be playing back for us. Bath time, no Bruno then. And Bath time has said Ederson for me, best on the ball, never seems to make any mistakes. We have got John here. Oi, oi, is that Maisy and Connor from All for United WFC? Hey there, John. I hope you're well. Go and subscribe as well to All for United WFC. If you do want to find the channel, it is on my featured channel, so you can catch it on there. Fox's focus, but that's just Man United in not a Premier League best. Yeah, I understand. It's hard for a keeper. I'm stuck between Mendy and De Gea. Both are goals, but for me, Mendy has made a big moment saves this season. This is no disrespect to De Gea. Yep, I completely agree with you there. Yes, so right backs. Who would you go for right back, Nippon? Nippon? I'll go with you, Connor. Who would you go for the right back?
Okay. There's only a couple of players. If you're talking just from the big six, I mean, you're looking at Man United, Wan-Bissaka. It's not going to be Wan-Bissaka. You're looking at Arsenal. I mean, I don't even know who they play at right back at the minute. Who is it? Is it Bellerin or some? No, it's not even Bellerin.
No, I think it's one of the.
Is it Cedric or something, or Holding plays out there or something like that? And then you're looking at Chelsea, Reece James. Good shout. I think it's between three. I think it's between Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, or Cancelo. If I on current form, which is what I think we're doing this off, I think you've probably got to go with Alexander-Arnold. Although it pains me to put a Liverpool player in, because defensively he's not that great.
You have to put your biases aside for this, man.
Oh, see, I'd love to be biased and stick a whole United players in there, but I mean, after we just got smacked 5-0, I can't justify putting United players in.
I was a bit torn with the exact same players as you, because from what I was reading, I think Reece James has been absolutely brilliant this season, but he's not played every game. You've got Cancelo. I don't think he's been as good as he has been last season and the season before. It's just. And Trent Alexander, for me, it was out of Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold. There was the two I would have picked. Who would you have gone for, Nippon?
Probably Trent, based on current form, with all the assists he's making to all the wing, to Salah and Mane.
Yeah, I think as well, everyone, me included, criticised Trent's defensive capabilities, but in that Liverpool system, he doesn't need to defend that much anyway. And when you've got Van Dyke next to him, he doesn't have to do. He gets exposed a bit, and I still don't think he's a right back. I think he'd be a very good midfielder. But in that Liverpool system, he doesn't get exposed as much as if he played for United, he wouldn't even get in the starting 11 because he can't defend, and the way that he'd get exposed all the time. Whereas at Liverpool, you just can't deny the kind of impact he has on that team with the crossing ability he's got. His passing's very good, so I just don't think you can count him out. But it's difficult.
Did you see? Go on. Before you carry on, did you see those two pictures of one of Sir Alex Ferguson fuming, and the other one of Kenny Dalglish just laughing?
Yeah, I've seen it on the actual teller. I'm looking at everybody else in the comments, and I think they're saying the exact same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it'd be definitely someone who we should put on, and then if that obviously does change a bit later on, we can always get that changed. Yeah, so Trent Alexander-Arnold it is for now. Left back for me was another one where I'm not too sure who to put, because for me, Chilwell is on really good form at the moment. However, I think Andy Robertson has to be a shout, and Luke Shaw.
Yeah, an all British left back thing. 2 from England, 1 from Scotland.
I think if you'd have asked me this last season, it's nailed on Luke Shaw.
I agree.
The start he's had to this season, I don't. And again, like I said, just because that Liverpool loss is so fresh in my mind, I just can't justify putting Luke Shaw in.
Do you think he's doing those? I have a question for you, Connor. Is he dropping those 0 out of 10s on purpose because he's down tools, or he's genuinely dropped in form?
Well, it's weird with Luke Shaw because a lot of people are criticising him because of the goals we concede, but I actually don't think defensively he's been that bad. I think the problem he's got is he's getting exposed because of the midfield and the attacking press we're trying to put on. We're not pressing as a team, so you're leaving your fullbacks and the 2 midfielders, McTominay and Fred, exposed. So Maguire and Shaw look worse than they actually are playing at the moment. So for me, I don't think Shaw's been as bad, but he's not overlapping the same as he was. He's not getting in the box the same as he was. So yeah,
I just think he's down tools.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? I said after Liverpool, I think some of the players definitely have. I stand by the fact I think Ollie's tactics lost us that game, but the players got us embarrassed, and I stand by that.
I think the players have had enough of Ollie.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, I could talk about it all night, so I'm not gonna go into it too much. But I think on Luke Shaw, like I said, if you'd have asked me a few months ago, I think he's nailed on. But you're looking at Robertson. Chilwell doesn't actually get in the conversation for me.
Someone mentioned Tierney. Kieran.
He had a good
been
start,
shocking.
didn't he? But
He's been shocking for Arsenal.
it's weird with Tierney because he had a good start, good start to the season, and then he just kind of dropped. I don't even think he's playing at the moment. I think they're playing that Tavares at fullback. So
yeah.
I think
the thing is with Arsenal fans is that they overhype their players so much that it just makes it difficult for me to want to put any of their players in there.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Maisy, but I don't think any Arsenal gets it mine.
I'm gonna have to agree there, to be honest. And I think out of the ones we've mentioned, I probably have to say Robertson at this moment in time.
It's difficult to argue, isn't it, with the form Liverpool are on. Chilwell's kind of been in and out on the side because Marcus Alonso played the first few games for Chelsea and looked very well. It's not even mentioned Alonso. So on current form again, you're probably looking at Robertson, aren't you?
I agree. To Niall's question, I do go on All for United WSC, so it's about women's football. I go on there every so often, so you can catch me on there on a Friday. And I can see here that Back Time has said about no way does Shaw get in ahead of Tierney, Robertson and Alonso. Alonso is another one that we haven't really mentioned, but the only reason why I've not really mentioned Alonso is because he's more played as a wing back more than he does play as an actual left back, because I think when he plays a 3-5, like that kind of formation, whatever Chelsea decides to do, I think he's good as the wing back, but when he plays as an actual left back, I don't think he's there for me. If you agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, so Chelsea do play 3/5. So you're looking at Chilwell or Alonso, and they've kind of rotated in and out. But yeah, I think Alonso actually did really well in the first few games, but I don't know his capabilities as a back four, which is the system we're playing here. So I think if you were asking me who I'd want in a team that we're building now in a back four, it wouldn't be Alonso, it wouldn't be Chilwell. I just don't think they're defensively. Chilwell's more defensively minded, but yeah, I just think Robertson in a back four is better suited all round. Alonso, if this was a back five formation, I think you'd have more of a discussion about Alonso. But yeah, I agree with what you were saying. I think in this system that we're playing, yeah, I don't think you can look past Robertson really.
Yeah, Robertson it is who will get in. And I just want to say hello to Ankit as well. I do hope you're well. So we'll put Robertson in there, and The next one, this is the one where I was torn the most in terms of centre-backs. Because there's so many good centre-backs, but you do look and you think, you want to put Varane in there. You want to put Van Dyke in there. Ruben Diaz is another shout. You've got Rudiger, who's another shout as well. So I just look at
Sorry about that.
So many people.
Sorry about that. I was just saying goodbye to my friends. I'm all ears now.
That's fine. Who would you have for centre-back pair? Who would you have in the centre-back pairing, Connor?
It's like you said. If we were more into the season, you'd probably look at Varane or Maguire. Well, not Maguire with the start that he's had to the season, but Varane as a player is better than a lot of the players I'm going to mention now. On current, I'm still torn between three because this is paining me. This as a United fan because I'm just hyping up rival players here. You're obviously going to look at Van Dyke because he is one of the world's best, and you can't deny that. I don't know whether anyone else is going to mention him, but I would actually put Rudiger in a back two because
I like Rudiger a lot. I really like Rudiger.
I think he was very unfortunate with the UEFA Player of the Defender of the Year, whatever that award is, a few months ago because I really do rate Rudiger. So I'm torn between Van Dijk, Rudiger, 4 actually, because Thiago Silva as well, and also obviously Ruben Diaz. I don't think any United, Arsenal or Spurs players get in there again. So come back to me. What do you think? Do you think any of those 4 I've mentioned get in? Or
for me, Rudiger has to get in, and so does Van Dijk. But then you do look at because I just want Varane in there because he's world class. Varane. There was the 3 where I was torn with the most, and Ruben Diaz as well. He was another shout for me.
Yeah. This is so tough, because you're convincing me on Varane here, but he's not played. He's not played. So
he's played well though when he has played for us.
There's definitely an argument for him. I think there's definitely an argument to have with Varane. And like I said, if we do this show again in 2 months' time, Varane is straight in.
Yes.
But right now, I think you've got to go Van Dijk and Rudiger, essentially. Because City are still conceding, aren't they?
Do you agree with that then, Nippon?
Yep. Rudy and Virgil.
Okay. A lot of people in the comments as well are all saying Rudiger as well. I think with Rudiger, he is so underrated in the Chelsea team, and I think because they've got Thiago Silva in there, he doesn't really get that look in to people who's not a Chelsea fan. They don't really rate him as highly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Rudy, like I just said a minute ago, he was very, very unlucky, in my opinion, not to get the Defender of the Year. The UEFA thing, I think he is very, very good. And like I said, I think you've got a good balance in that team because you've got Christensen who comes in and out. You've got Chalobah, who looks good in the back 3. You've got Thiago Silva, who's very, very good. His experience shows, and then you've got Rudiger alongside, who's also has experience. I think he's 28, so he's in the prime of his career, and he does go under the radar a bit, doesn't he? So, yeah, you're looking at. I mean, you're not going to score many goals past those 2, are you?
I agree. Fox's Focus did make a good point. Johnny Evans is a really good shout, and I actually do regret that United sold Johnny Evans. I just wish he was still at United.
Yeah, he was a very good player at United, and obviously circumstances, we moved him on, but he's been good for Leicester.
Police station.
You can see when he's not in the team, the difference he makes. I mean, look at the difference in Soyuncu when Evans isn't next to him. Soyuncu doesn't look like a League One player, let alone a Premier League player, when Johnny Evans isn't next to him. So that's the importance of having a very, very good centre back next to you. And
yeah, I agree. Everyone was telling me Soyuncu is so good. I was like to them, just wait when he doesn't have Johnny Evans to cover up for him. And they all laughed at me.
The next one is pretty solid for me in terms of a CDM. It says CM, but we'll do it as a CDM. For me, with a CDM, it has to be nothing but Kante. It's Kante all the way in my eyes. He's world class, the best centre defensive midfielder in the world for me right now.
Can we not make a case for Fred? Does Fred not get in there?
Oh Oh, come on. Are you? Come on, you take your United hat off for once. Dyke doesn't get him. Fabinho doesn't get him. Even what's his name? That Bayern midfielder who's massively overrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think in all seriousness, obviously I wouldn't put Fred in there. You're looking at See, I actually really like Fernandinho and Rodri over at Man City. You know, why am I just hyping up rival players? I really do.
Your rivals are so good. That's why.
Rodri is very, very good and very, very underrated. Because he's not the flair player of that City side. You've got Bernardo Silva, you've got Gundogan, you've got De Bruyne, and all the. I could go on. Rodri is that key, similar to Kante, but you can't. Kante is so. If he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or this year, it's a joke, and he won't because it's all done on, how you did in your national tournaments. So Jorginho win it because of Italy winning the Euros, but Kante deserves that.
Jorginho, are you sure? I don't think he wins it. If I'm honest with you, I think it's going to be Lewandowski.
I hope so because Jorginho is most undeserving. He's a very good player, but he's not deserving of the Ballon d'Or. Is he?
I hope it's Lewandowski.
Do either of you think Jorginho goes in this team as a midfielder?
It's hard because a lot of people do rate Jorginho, but I don't rate him as highly as a lot of people do. That is my opinion, but I do rate Kovacic, who Anke did mention. I think he is a very underrated player.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That whole Chelsea team is just good. You're looking at. I mean, their midfield is so stacked. Their attacking quality as well. He's not going to get in my team. I just don't think you can look past Kante again on this one. It is close. It's closer than people think. With Jorginho in there and Rodri as well. I actually think Rodri is very close to being in
and
there.
Fabinho for me as well.
Could argue if you're going to put Fabinho in that conversation, you could argue, as much as I don't like him as a player, Jordan Henderson could be a shout as well because he is another vital part of the Liverpool system. As much as I don't like it, he played obviously CDM against us on Sunday. You need players like that, the workhorses, as people like to call them, in midfield. Henderson is that. He is that kind of central pivot, isn't he, in that Liverpool side? And with that, you take him out, they take him and Fabinho out, you get what happened to Liverpool last season. Everyone was going on about Van Dyke. It wasn't Van Dyke that, people might disagree, but it wasn't Van Dyke that was the reason why they went on the run that they did. It's because they took Henderson and Fabinho out of their midfield. They weren't conceding that many goals last year. They just weren't scoring. And that's because you take Henderson and Fabinho back, they don't have the influence in midfield. So, yeah, you could make a case for Henderson as well, but I don't think I can be convinced that Kante doesn't make this team, personally.
Yeah. I just want to say hello as well to Doug. I do hope you're all well. So for me, it has to be Kante. I really do like Kante. He's very calm on the ball as well. What I do love about Kante. So we'll definitely put Kante in there. No question about that. The next bit though is gonna be our two central midfielders because there's a few in mind there for me as well. Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Kevin De Bruyne. There's also as well Kovacic as well from Chelsea. There's quite a few players who you do look and think, who should you put on? Who do you have in mind? Who you put on, Connor? Kante.
Oh, I'm on mute. I just realised that. I'm just going to put that out there now. Bruno Fernandes doesn't get in mine.
Oh, really? Who gets in yours then?
So, I haven't decided. But Bruno on current form. Again, like I said, if this was a team based on players that I'd want, Bruno would be in. But right now, Bruno hasn't got... I think he's only got one assist or one goal in the last 7 or 8 games or something like that in all comps. So can you really justify putting him in, this team on form? You're looking at, someone's mentioned Partey. No Arsenal players are going to get in my team yet. If Arsenal continue on the form that they're doing, then Partey would probably be in the conversation. But at the moment, I wouldn't say so. Do you know what? I'm torn between a few. Bernardo Silva is in the because if I could have one player from another team, it's Bernardo Silva. I've watched him live a few times when obviously City have come to Old Trafford, and he's the one player I've watched and just gone, he's so good. He's so underrated as a footballer. It's ridiculous. You could put Mount there, potentially. Obviously got a hat-trick against Norwich. Kovacic, people have already mentioned. De Bruyne. Could even put Grealish if you obviously. I know he's playing on the wing for City. You could drop him in the midfield. Oh, God, there's so many options in this midfield. But Bernardo Silva is definitely one for me. If I was picking it, he'd definitely be for me. But yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? Try and throw some names at me, convince me.
A few people have got a few things like Doug here has said Fernandes, De Bruyne, and Kovacic for him himself. That's a really good shout as well. Here, back time. If we're allowed players out of the big six, I want Rice and Tony and Gray in the team. And Fox's Focus did mention Tielemans, and you know what? I really like Tielemans, and I want Tielemans in there. I really like Tielemans so much. He's just a really good player. I actually might make an exception to put Tielemans in, just because I really.
If you're doing that, you've got my backing, because Tielemans is. I was on a Leicester channel a couple of weeks ago and said I'd swap Pogba for Tielemans, and all the Leicester fans were coming at me like, slating me. That is a bargain for me. Like, Tielemans is such a good midfielder. He's the kind of player I would rather have over Pogba and get a proper six behind him.
Here's a question for you: does Tielemans start for Manchester United?
100%.
I say so. I say so.
Like, who does he displace? Who does he displace?
Fred.
Yeah, for me, you'd go Matic, Tielemans, and then a Bruno as a three.
Yeah, I agree. Or even if Pogba was still there, you'd even put a Pogba there in, like, rotate Pogba and Bruno, or rotate whoever else who's always on there, or rotate. Yeah.
Do you think Conte plays? Do you think if you guys get Conte, he'll play Donny?
No.
What?
I can see it being Matic and Pogba, to be honest. I think he'd drop Bruno, if I'm being perfectly honest, but there we are.
Who would you have?
What if Bruno? Well, being the arrogant guy he is, what would happen if Bruno threw a fuss, saying you can't drop me?
Well, that's why managers are paid big money, isn't it? Make these tough decisions, but I don't have the answer to that one.
Would any manager have the balls to drop Ronaldo without the risk of him downing tools?
You're getting into a separate conversation there, but I mean, I hope Ollie does it at the weekend, to be perfectly honest. But
definitely, and I just want to say hi to King Tony as well. Thank you for tuning in. And just like Niall said, there's just so many options, because it's just literally quality. And if I'm going to pick out the two central midfielders, I'll make the exception and put Tielemans in. And I'd probably put as my second option Bruno.
Oh.
Just because you look at Bruno, he's got 4 goals. He's got one of the highest assists in the Champions League. He's got the most goals in one season for a midfielder last season. I just think, how can we not leave him out?
Yeah, and to be fair, looking at the team, we're running out of players, and I do want to get a United player in there somewhere. So, yeah, I mean, on current form, he probably doesn't, just because there are teams playing better than us at the minute. But, I mean, you don't need to convince me how good Bruno is. I've literally got posters of him up on my bloody wall. Like, I know how good he is.
You're fanboying, Connor.
I know. I love Bruno, but yeah, I mean, a midfield of Kante, Bruno, and Tielemans. That is my ideal team for United.
Yeah.
Just because it's a proper number 6, it's a box to box in Tielemans, and you've got your 10 as Bruno.
I'd drop Bruno for Donny.
I mean,
there's no way I'd drop Bruno. Not a chance. I would drop Bruno for Donny.
Are you scared that he'll get mad at you, Maisy?
No, just Bruno. I just wouldn't drop Bruno at all. The only way he's out that team is if he's injured. There's no other way he's not. He influences the team on a different level, and he's influenced that team. Like before he came to United, we looked like we was out of life. Like we didn't look like we cared. But Bruno come in, it just felt like it just went completely different.
But does it look like he cares now?
Yeah, he does care. You can tell every single game how disappointed he is, how angry he is as well.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think it's as easy as like I said. It's a whole other conversation in itself. But I don't think the players, professional footballers, some do it, but you play for yourself. If you don't like the manager, you play for yourself. So,
yeah. So is everyone happy with them two central midfielders?
Yeah, I can't. I know we've broken the rules slightly, but to be fair, Leicester, you could argue, are a better top six side than Arsenal now because
I agree.
They've been in the top six more than Arsenal.
And Spurs as well. Because you do look at
just for the slander, in the big six. But just for the slander, I'd replace Leicester with Arsenal.
I'd replace them with Spurs firstly, because if you look at Arsenal's history, it's much better than Spurs' history ever. Take them out.
True, but there's one thing Tottenham will always have over Arsenal. It's success in Europe. Success in Europe.
Yeah, so should we go on to right wing now? For me, it was no brainer. I had to put Mo Salah in it.
Yeah, it's not even a debate, is it? It's Salah. Like there are some very good wingers in this league at the moment. You're looking at. I saw someone put a comment in earlier. Sarr from Watford, very very good player. Obviously, we've got quite a few ourselves in Greenwood, Rashford, and Sancho, if you include him as well. Who have City got? Grealish, Foden plays. The thing is, it's really difficult with City. I saw someone debating with me in the chat earlier that Bernardo Silva is a winger. He isn't. He plays there, and this is what's weird with City. So you've got Grealish who can play as a 10, a left winger, a false 9, an 8. Like you've got so many different options. So when you're looking at, I mean, I don't even know why I'm debating it. It's Salah, regardless of what I say. But I'm just trying to think of other alternatives that could be in a conversation. Maybe
take your United hat off.
I mean,
probably the one who'd be on debate after him, it'd probably be Saka, but Saka hasn't been there for me this season.
Yeah.
Arsenal tax.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about Saka, you're looking at, I mean, this goes back to the midfield, I guess, but Smith Rowe's had a very good few games as well for Arsenal, if you want to include somebody like that. But yeah, I mean, in regards to right wing, it's Salah. Like, he is probably the best player in the world right now. There's not even a debate on that.
He's another one who can be a contender for Ballon d'Or as well.
Salah. Oh, Salah. Okay, yeah, definitely.
I think he would be if he was doing this last season, like all of last season, maybe, because it isn't the Ballon d'Ors per calendar year, isn't it? So if he was doing this for the early part of 2021, then I could see it. But yeah, he definitely, if he does this for the rest of the season, he's in with a shout. Unfortunately, I don't rate the Ballon d'Or very highly, but just because of the way that it's done. It's always based on if you win the Champions League or if you do well in a national tournament and all this kind of stuff. So I don't rate it that highly. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Whilst I've still got you, the left wing one for me, that was a difficult one because you do look and you think Rashford has to be there, Mane, you've got Son, he's another one.
Yeah, I was just looking at who. Like I said, Grealish is playing left at the moment for City. They kind of interchange with Foden. Like I said, with City, players play all over the place, so it's really weird to nail them down. Arsenal, is it Aubameyang? Is he out on the left?
Yeah, he's more of a left, yeah.
There's not that many good left wingers in the Premier League at the moment, is there? When you're looking at it on current form, there are plenty of very good ones out there. Jota played on the left versus us. So you could argue Jota could be in the conversation. Could you put Ronaldo on the left and go for a different kind of striker?
Because if you put Ronaldo on the left, you could put Harry. Thing is, Harry Kane isn't even on form. That is the only problem. Because Harry Kane, I feel like he's one of the best strikers in the world right now. Even though he's not on that perfect form, I feel like he is one of the best in the world at the moment.
But his confidence has gone. Can you not tell?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I mean, I really rate Harry Kane. Anyway, I know he didn't score versus West Ham, but that's not his fault. Tottenham as a team just weren't up to scratch on the day. But I mean, I'm really tempted just because of the lack of left wingers on form to stick Ronaldo out there and then go for a different striker. Because I mean, Son is a left-sided player. You could put Son out there. Like I said, you're just looking at the big six. You're looking at Aubameyang, Rashford. If you're looking at pure left wingers, Grealish, Son. Who plays Chelsea don't really play with a left winger, so it's difficult to. I mean, Hudson-Odoi, but I mean he played centrally when they played against Norwich. So yeah, I'm debating putting Ronaldo out there. I know people aren't going to agree with me because
I was debating it myself. Because I was looking at it and I thought Harry Kane needs to get that shout. Lukaku's up there, and I'm seeing comments here. Jamie Vardy he's just getting better with age. Jamie Vardy, Ivan Toney is another one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shout for the player I said earlier, Ismaila Sarr from Watford, but obviously he's not in the big six, so you can't put him in there either. I think with this funky little game that we're doing here, with just the big six, I'm going to put Ronaldo out on the left and then go with a different striker. I don't think there's any other left winger currently. I know Ronaldo's been playing as a striker.
He's played on the left though when Cavani's came on, because when Cavani came on, he's moved over to the left and Cavani's been playing centrally.
Yeah, and I think if you put Ronaldo on the left with a workhorse striker, it could work. You've got your workhorses in midfield with Tielemans and Kante. Maybe I'm thinking about this too complicated, but I cannot. It sounds biased as a United fan, but whenever I do combined 11s and all these kind of things, I cannot not put Ronaldo in. It just doesn't feel right to not put Ronaldo in a team. So yeah, people might disagree, but Ronaldo.
Yeah, just put in there. Look, I'd be surprised if you didn't put him there.
Yeah, I agree. So Ronaldo left wing it is then, and then we'll look at a striker. And I just wanted to say as well, hello to Solo, who is in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. I was looking at people's comments, and Jamie Vardy, there was also saying Antonio from West Ham is a very good striker too.
Yeah,
you could have just made this a top half combined 11. Forget the big six. Like top half, bottom half.
Let's stick Joe Linton up there. Let's see how he does with Ronaldo and South.
He'll look world class himself.
Again, it goes back to what the rules are, I guess. Because if you go in big six, you look in Cavani. Because obviously we've got Ronaldo on the left. You're looking.
Let's do big six and Leicester.
Okay, so you're looking at Vardy, Cavani, Greenwood. Maybe you can stick Greenwood down the middle, even though it probably wouldn't work. Firmino, Gabriel Jesus, Lacazette.
He's been playing more on the wings as well, Jesus, because he's apparently come out and said he prefers it on the wings, and that's where he's been mostly playing himself. And then it's different players in a false nine, like if it's Grealish in a false nine or Phil Foden in a false nine, and I'm sure, and Sterling can play a false nine as well.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. There's not many. You're probably looking at Kane, then, aren't you? If you're talking about proper number nines, you're probably looking at Harry Kane, but because I can't think, it's between Kane and Vardy for me. I don't think any of the other guys get a shout.
I agree. Nippon, who would you go for?
Oh, that's such a tough one. Because if Harry Kane was on form, he'd definitely be in there, no doubt. But since he's just lost his confidence, I'm probably going to go for Jamie Vardy.
Let's do it. Because even Jamie Vardy, when you do look at Jamie Vardy, like he's one of them kind of players who is an inspiration to other players. Like he come from a non-league team and then he's gone to winning the Premier League, going far in the Champions League, winning the FA Cup, and it just feels like when you watch Jamie Vardy, he's just getting, even though he's getting older, he's just getting better. And you do look at, imagine Jamie Vardy's form now if he was 5 years ago. He'd be absolutely smashing it.
I'll tell you who looks like a young Jamie Vardy. There's the guy that lines up alongside him, Patson Daka.
Daka is terrific.
Absolutely brilliant player. As I was just going to mention.
Leicester know how to get talent. Let me just put that out there.
Their recruiting department is one of the best in the world. But I mean, Patson Daka does remind me of Jamie Vardy in the way that he's so direct. He's got very, very good finish on him, and he's so young as well. Like for the price they got him for, I remember when they signed him, I tweeted it saying, "How have Leicester done it again with another player like of that?" Because I was watching him. I can't remember who it was before now. I've got to be honest. But when you make a signing like that, you're like, Leicester just always makes smart buys, and he's another one. Vardy's getting a bit older. They've signed Iheanacho. Looks good. Another striker that you could mention as well, who's on good form as well. Patson Daka as well. So Leicester just have a good team. Like I said, that you could argue, across the whole team. I think if, even the fullbacks, if we were going back to the defence, and you're looking at, James Justin last season, Ricardo Pereira, they've got
good.
very exceptional fullbacks. So yeah. I've got to be honest. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Leicester, so I might be a little bit biased just because of the team they've got. But if this was done at a different point in the season, and maybe I think you could argue you'd stick a few more Leicester players in there. I think you'd find at least space for one more, and I think it would be at fullback.
Yeah, I agree. It would probably, if you did put it on, you'd do maybe have like Johnny Evans in there. He'd be another one who you'd have. You'd also have Fofana if he was still in, because Fofana was absolutely terrific.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of talent in these teams, and it's disappointing as a United fan that we're not. Like I said, if you'd have asked me at the start of the season, I'd be like, "Yep, Varane's going in this team. Sancho will make it in this team. Greenwood could potentially in with a shout." But I mean, struggled for me to get Fernandes in, and just I'm shifting Ronaldo out to the left to get him in the team. Like that's just not where we should be. I want to be picking combined 11s and United players to be first on the list. But
you'd want that especially like knowing who we have brought in as well, and you would just expect a lot more. And you'd expect, like, you obviously look at these players and you think absolute amazing talent, but like, look at like the players we've got, like Paul Pogba. He should be straight in there as well. He's another, and Varane, if he was not injured, he'd 100% get in there.
Yeah, Varane definitely. You can just look at the difference in Maguire when Varane was next to him. It's like I said, I think if we do this in about 2 months' time, Varane would get in this team. I think just at the moment, obviously he's been injured.
Who'll be the sacrificial lamb? Rudy or Van Dyke?
That's a good question.
Van Dyke.
Yeah, just to get another Liverpool player out of the team.
Honestly, I'm going to take my bias aside, and I'd actually take Rudy out.
Yeah, I mean, Varane and Van Dijk is a back two. I mean, that's crazy. You're not going to score many goals past that, are you? That's ridiculous. So,
how do you think this team here would win the quadruple?
No.
Absolutely.
Why? What do you think they'd win then, Connor?
The thing is, the more I look at this team, the more I'm looking at players I could change. Because it's like I said, that there are players that are not on form at the moment and maybe are not part of the game that we're playing that would potentially challenge some of these players. I I said Varane would probably get in. There's a few players I can't think of right now. Like De Bruyne would probably get into a World 11 or a Premier League 11 or whatever. So they'd probably challenge for the Premier League. But the thing is, it's with these kind of combined 11s, would these players work together? Would Ronaldo work with, Salah and, but I mean, I think he'd work with Vardy because Vardy's the workhorse. But as we see with United, you can't just have one or two workhorses, because if you do a single man press, if Vardy, I don't know why I'm tactically thinking about this, because it's only but if you've got Vardy doing a single press, is Ronaldo going to do that with him? Probably not. And Bruno behind,
Ronaldo will be selfish.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that either, to be honest. Someone else just made a very good point in the comments that 3 out of the back 4 that we've got ripped apart by Brentford.
That is true.
That's a good point.
That is true. And yeah.
Oh my God, I just realised that they're all Liverpool players apart from Rudy.
Oh no! And now I'm looking at it thinking maybe I should have put Reece James on.
I know, I'm thinking of changing my mind. I mean,
I wouldn't take Robertson off or Van Dyke. It's just Trent for me. What's the debatable one? Because I was torn between both Reece James and Trent.
Yeah, they are close. Like it's like I said earlier when we were talking about fullbacks, they are close. Now, Chelsea are obviously top of the league. You should. It just doesn't look right. Chelsea and Liverpool, the top teams at the minute, or Chelsea are top of the league. How many players we got into there? 3. I mean, you're just doing it. Get rid of Trent. Get Reece James in there.
Well,
I want to see how it'd look. How do you think that looks better?
I think that would work. You've got 2. Reece James is better defensively. Robertson is better defensively than Trent. You've got 2 good defensive and offensive fullbacks, 2 solid centre halves, a very commanding goalkeeper. Kante just in front of him. You're not going to get through much there, are you?
No.
I wouldn't think.
No, 100% not. And then we've got such attacking threat as well up front with Tielemans, Fernandes, Ronaldo, Vardy, and Salah.
Yeah. I mean, someone just made it talking about Castagna from Leicester. Good. Again, it's like I said, if you do this at a different point of the season, you'd probably stick more Leicester in. Leicester are just stacked at fullback. They've got so many. I mean, Ryan Bertrand as well. I know people don't really rate him, but you've got Bertrand there. You've got Castagna. You've got James Justin. You've got Ricardo Pereira. There's so many good fullbacks at Leicester. But no, I don't. At the moment, Reece James is very, very good. And same with Robertson. So you've got a good balance, haven't you, of defensive and offensive qualities.
I agree. Is both of you happy with this lineup then?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
yep. And put some respect on Ryan, but
I think he's talking about Ryan Bertrand.
Champions League winner.
Yeah, he's crashed.
No, don't start him. Just thought I'd throw something in there.
Yeah, what was you saying, Connor, about the line?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at it, trying to think if there's anyone I'd change, and I don't think there is.
No.
I think De Bruyne probably goes in for Tielemans if De Bruyne does what he can do, what we know he can do.
He hasn't really been on form for me this season.
That's what I mean. I think if he goes back to how we know what he can do, De Bruyne goes in. But at the moment, I just quite like having a balanced midfield. I quite like Tielemans and Kante alongside it. Because my idea of a balanced midfield, you have a 6, you have an 8, and you have a 10. You've got a 6, you've got an 8, you've got a 10. If you had De Bruyne in there instead of Tielemans, you've got 1 6 and 2 10s. So, I mean, not saying it can't work. I mean, look at Man City. They play Bernardo Silva and Gundogan either side of Rodri, so it can work. But yeah, I don't think... It's really difficult when you do combined 11s because there's a lot of players that are missing out. I mean, again, good point about if it's on form, Damari Gray.
He's a very good player.
Is he better than that front 3 we've got?
I'd say no, he wouldn't be.
No, definitely not.
John has said great balance in that midfield, and love that at United. So John is very happy with the lineup as well. Thanks, John. And Foxy's Focus has said Vardy and Ronaldo is like the Premier League equivalent of Messi and Ronaldo.
I'm guessing Fox is a Leicester fan.
Yeah, he is a Leicester fan. But I think I am happy with that lineup. And so we'll have this lineup for this is going to be our combined 11. And what we could do, we could probably go through it. We could look at this again in February, see is this going to change or who would you put on instead?
Yeah, I think it's worth a review at some point further into the season, halfway point or towards the end, because I think a few of those players will change.
I agree. Yes, so I will make sure I take the picture and then we'll go back to that in around January, February, see which one is right. So, yeah. I'll end the stream here and we'll shout out everybody's socials. Connor, where can we find you?
I mean, there, if you want to follow me. But more importantly, follow All for United WFC and All for United, two of the channels that I've come across from. Especially the WFC channel, try and grow that one. We're trying to grow the women's game, as a not just as a United fan, but the women's game as a whole. We're trying to grow it. So yeah, All for United WFC and just All for United if you want the men's content as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I absolutely love going on All for United WFC. It's an absolute pleasure to go on to there. So if you do want to subscribe to All for United WFC, the link is in the featured channel. And Nippon, where can we find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Nippon Sharma. You can also find me on my secondary channel, which is the British Rail Fan, where I will be doing some travel vlogs in the future. You can also find me on Instagram at Nippon with 4 eyes, 3 U's. Yeah. That's basically my name with 4 eyes and 3 U's. And you can find me on my other Instagram at Nippon Reviews Cuisines. And you can follow me on Twitter at the Nippon Sharma.
Great. Please, everyone, go like and subscribe. When I did last check, I was on roughly around 255 subscribers. So I am currently on the road to 300 subscribers. And if you do want to donate to Breast Cancer Now, the link is in the description because this month is for breast cancer awareness. And if I do hit £500, I will be doing a sponsored walk to Old Trafford, which is 5 miles from my house, and I'll be giving away a free football shirt of your choice. I'll next be doing a stream. It will be next Wednesday. I'll be doing a review on the Derby Day football. So it'll be Man United versus Man City preview. And I'll be doing a watch along on next Sunday for the Man United women versus Tottenham. So that'll be a very good one to tune into as well. You'll be going, won't you, as well, Connor, to the game?
Yeah, we're all going. That's the band, whatever you want to call us. There's a lot of us going down for the early kickoff down at. Well, I was going to say White Hart Lane, and it's not even Spurs' new stadium. It's Barnet, I think it is. The Hive Stadium.
Yeah, the Hive. I used to go to school near there.
So yeah, we'll be going down there. We'll be making lots of noise and cheering on the girls, and hopefully get 3 points and take it back up to Manchester.
And John is correct. I will be also on All for United WSC next Friday. We'll be doing a fans forum, so we'll be discussing about Man United. So give that a watch as well next Friday at 7 o'clock. You won't be disappointed at all. Until then, though, I will see you all soon. Goodbye, everyone.